I love you, Capricorn. This is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. There is always an extended. That link is directly below, and that is a near personal reading plus your romance reading. It's 2 readings in one video. If you haven't already, please do like this video, share it on your social media platforms, and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell, hit all notifications so you know when I upload your content. Capricorn comes out with Aquarius and Pisces every single Wednesday. Please watch your sun, your moon, and your rising sign video for a really well-rounded understanding of the energies that you're dealing with right now. And let's get into the reading. So what I got for you when I pulled the 2 Lenormands is essentially confusion. I don't think it's confusion because you don't like your life or know what you want out of your life, but that could be a little bit. I think it's just confusion because there has been a lot of change that you're going through right now. Saturn is in retrograde. It is in Aquarius. There's a lot of different changing of views, changing of maybe even ideals, situations that you thought you'd never get into, you're wanting to get into, you're interested in. Why? Because you're really aligned with right and wrong. And when Saturn goes into retrograde, the very concepts of right and wrong can change, because what was right or what, because Saturn participates in cosmic balance just like all these other energies do. And what was right 10 years ago may not be right now because the balance has to go on the other scale. So understand that if you're a little bit confused or you feel there's sort of ambiguity in your life right now, it's because you're going through a natural transition of ideals. And how that's playing out in your life could be your life is changing a great deal. Something that you thought would always be important to you may not be as important to you anymore. And something that you thought would never be important to you, or I'd never do that. Suddenly it's like, no, I definitely want to at least investigate that. So there's a lot of ambiguity right now. I don't think it's blah. I think it's a little bit frightening. I think it's a little bit intimidating. But I think, no, I know that you guys are strong enough to handle it. In fact, I'm not getting any rough vibes of, oh, this is really horrible stuff that's going on or happening. Change is a difficult thing. Not only for, okay, let's put it this way. Change is a difficult thing for Capricorns especially, because they need a lot of time. It's almost like with Capricorn energy, whether it's your sun, your moon, your rising sign, or you just got you were born to a different sun sign, but you have a Capricorn stellium. Stelliums are, I believe, 3 or 4 or more planets in one zodiac sign. So it very well could be that if you have a lot of Capricorn influence, it's almost like you ever see a Mack truck or an 18-wheeler turn? Well, it can't turn quickly. It can't, because if it does, it's absolute disaster for itself and everybody around. It has got to turn slowly. And being the cardinal sign of the earth signs, Capricorn energy bears a lot of weight with it. And it does. It's almost like a mountain moving. So it has to happen slowly. And when change comes upon you and it has to happen quickly, I mean, all I can say is there's good reason for panic. And the best you can do is get out all your ingenuity and all your logical skills and think, well, how can we do this without breaking ourselves? Because this is going to be a doozy. The best thing I can explain is make tracks like a train. A train can actually take some really precise corners, and so can those little trolleys and rails, just because it's on a track. Certainly so can roller coasters, and they bear a lot of weight and they move extremely fast. And if you've ever been to I think it's Japan, where the bullet train is, those go really quickly and they're very agile, but it has to do with being on the track. So it's not necessarily right now, how do I figure out how to do this change really quickly? It's how do I build the track system for where I'm going so that I can definitely swing these corners quickly with precision without having to completely destroy myself. So right now you're like, oh, maybe I chose the right metaphor. You feel a little off track, and maybe you are, because you want to build new tracks. you decided that you want to go in a different direction. Don't be afraid to trust your gut and your soul and go there. So here we have creative wonderment. As I'm saying all this, what comes out next? Creative wonderment, follow your passions. And you are very passionate people, and you need to trust your passions. Don't deny them, don't doubt them, and don't think, oh, they're too crazy, I could never. Stop. That's your over conservative mindset. I don't mean conservative in terms of politics. I mean too conservative. Sometimes Capricorns become, I just don't want to change because it's too frightening is what it is. What you've got to do is trust your heart, because you, just like everybody else, were put on this earth for a divine purpose, and your heart is talking to you about that divine purpose right now. And what did it say? It's your job. It's not your job to shut it up and make it pretend like it never happened. It's your job to figure out, okay, how do I build the tracks to make it happen? So I feel like in some ways, this ambiguity is something to do with you fighting yourself, because you already know where your heart wants you to go. All cardinal signs do. And then we have shoes. Maybe you feel like you don't know the direction. You haven't been able to choose, or there's too much coming in, like there's too many decisions, there's too many choices, there's too much information. I mean, listen, Mercury retrograde, we just ended it today. We'll probably still be feeling it through the rest of this week, maybe into the beginning of next. So there could be all this like information floating around you. Listen, take a deep breath, go one at a time. Organize how you're going to address it all. Maybe even call for help if you need it. You will get through this. This is energy of just kind of, I'll say this right now. It's like clusterfuck energy. It's kind of like, how did all this like happen all at the same time? And I know, and it's exhausting. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but I've been feeling exhausted. Because it's hard to build out new tracks and to like accommodate for all this change. It's very exhausting without you seeming like you're doing much energy, but you're burning much energy, but you are burning a lot of energy just in the decision making process. We're just coming out of Gemini season. Gemini, you burn energy by the challenge, especially with Mercury in retrograde in Gemini. It was all about, I have to focus, and focus actually takes a lot of energy. I have to make decisions. I have to process all this new information. All of that takes a lot of energy. I feel open. You don't have to be moving mountains to burn energy. I feel open. So yeah, this is like, I have an open heart. You have this open, it's so funny. I love that I got these cards together for you because it sums up your energy right now. I feel open and I feel lost. What? And it's probably you feel lost because you've never felt so open before. You've never had such a mind that wasn't so quick to decide. You know, it was like, well, let me maybe think about it for a second. Or let me explore it. Let me experiment a little bit. Go ahead. Let yourself do it. Give yourself this time. Stop fighting yourself. You're not lost. Not all who wander are lost. Not all who explore are lost. Some of them are just having a great time, and that's how they learn. You're learning. That's what you're doing. Capricorn. Capricorn. The waiting game is here. So, there's things out of your control, which can also give you agita. That's the truth. So you're waiting for a response for something, maybe some big words, some big things, big changes, big happenings, big decisions, big paperwork, legal decisions, stuff like that. And yeah, you're right, Capricorn, it's not all on you. This is also the cosmos. That's why they did like sort of that path graph of our solar system there. It isn't really about you. Sometimes you have to wait for everything else to be in sync too. And all of these other planets or, just objects in motion to get in line around you. And you know what? I know patience is a son bitch, isn't it? It really is. But honestly, Capricorn, you can fill that time with exploration and discovery and just let things happen as they will. We have heartache and loss in the past. In the past, so this is a struggle, sadness, suffering. So this is in the past, and choose wisely. I understand. So there's a fear here because in the past, You feel like the choices that you've made have led you to heartbreak, have led you to sadness. And in some ways you think, oh, I can control this. I can control this. I can make a decision now better. And in some ways you are right. You have more experience now. You are not who you used to be. You are not. You are in a different point, in a different place, in a different time, in a different place in this galaxy. Everything is constantly moving. You are not the same person that you used to be. But you're scared that, oh my God, I've hurt myself before. I've gotten myself into crazy situation. Baby, you have gotten yourself into life. Okay? All that pain, all that hurt, all that suffering. I bet you if you look back, you can also mark times where there was equal joy, triumph, adoration. It's not just the pain and the sorrow or suffering, but it is where you put your focus. So understand that every choice that you've made for the best possible reasons with all the information that you had at that time. And you know what? You can't look back. You don't look back in judgment of yourself or to be critical of yourself. You look back only to learn. The only reason why you should ever look back is to pat yourself on the back and give yourself a little appreciation because, wow, look how far I've come. Okay, you wouldn't be here today in the midst of making some more big decisions, some more life changes if you hadn't survived all that other shit to begin with. So the only reason to look back is to pat yourself on the back and remind yourself of your strength because of how far you've come. You are not going to make decisions that are going to lead you into a path of pain. I mean, eventually, listen, like you're never going to feel pain again? Is that what you think? Honestly, think about what you're thinking. Do you honestly think, Capricorn, that you're capable of making decisions that will be so perfect you will never, ever, ever have to ever suffer or experience pain or discomfort ever again? It's not happening. It's part of life, right? And the problem is your focus. And that's what you should have learned in Gemini, is that your focus determines your reality. Thank you, Qui-Gon Jinn. It's a character from Star Wars, if you don't know. But that's what it is. It's like your focus determines your reality. Yeah, there's suffering, but there's equal happiness too. And so focus on what? What do you want to focus on? What do you want to focus on? Expect powerful change. And this is coming up in the past. So in the not so distant past, you made a huge life shift. And that's a new path. It's a new adventure. It's a new road for you to take, and I think you're doing well on it. You're just really critical of yourself. Stop that shit. You can. I don't know. Like I said, you don't stop a Mack truck, right? All of a sudden, but start putting the brakes on now. Start retraining your brain to see the joy and not the sorrow, because I bet you there's a lot of joy happening too. Say, I'm sorry. Number one, say I'm sorry to yourself, to have more compassion to yourself. And then also, maybe there is, and I got this feeling, maybe there is somebody that you feel you have to say sorry to because there's pain from the past. You made decisions that you think hurt somebody else. Well, now is the time to come out. When you realize it, it's the time to say, it still sits heavy on my chest, and I want to tell you how much I love you, and I want to tell you how sorry I am. If this is the time to do it, then this is the time that you do it. Maybe somebody has to say, I'm sorry to you. I feel like it's you, though. Like you're sitting with this burden from a bygone age. And why sit with the burden anymore? Why? This is the time to let it go and let it flow. See? Sorry. Not COVID. Don't worry about it. I am fully vaccinated, and I've already fully naturally inoculated. I had COVID, you guys remember. I will say this. Everybody that I've read for, if you'd like to check out Scorpio and Libra and Sagittarius, they're all up. It's about removing a cork. In fact, please check out Astrology Motivation. I'll attach it above. Astrology Motivation is my new channel. I'm trying to build that out there too, so I hope that you subscribe over there as well. But I just posted the weekly Astrology Motivation video. It was all about unplugging the cork, because a long time ago, you plugged up something so it wouldn't hurt. But you also plugged up all the energy flow of that channel. And if you want, you got to have that energy back. You got to unplug. In other words, you got to readdress that circumstance, that pain, that patchwork. You got to let it open up again. And there's going to be some sludge that comes out, but there's also going to be flow. You got to let it flow now. It's time, and you're strong enough to deal with it. This is about putting your best foot forward and letting go and saying goodbye, moving forward. It's forward, always forward. Stop thinking about the past or what scared you in the past. Reject that and just move forward. So this is putting your best feet forward and allowing even people from the past, say goodbye, let them go, let them pass. Celebrating with friends, let yourself celebrate with people who are truly and genuinely happy for you, people who truly and genuinely love you, people who always have your back, not people who chase you or want something from you, but people who sincerely celebrate you. So I think you've leveled up in a way. Even though, goodbyes are sad. Even if they're good for you, goodbyes are sad. Maybe you felt like you didn't do somebody right, or, you left without saying goodbye, or maybe you didn't commit, whatever it is. Are you trusting your heart? If your heart tells you got to get out of here, then you got to get out of here. And then you got to say, I'm sorry, but maybe this is just not for me right now. Okay, you have a right to say that for yourself, because your mission on this earth is not just what you want. It's to get things done that your heart knows you're assigned to do. And you can't always take everybody with you there. And then we have, of course, it also could mean in some ways somebody's left you and you feel abandoned and you feel sad and you're missing them. Then we have flame of inspiration, but it's turned in reverse. So maybe a little bit of inspiration has gone out. There's a sadness here. There's a little bit of a squash here. There's a little bit of lost, can't find my way. You are finding your way. You just don't have that full track paved out yet, and things are a little dark right now. Now, there's always a light, and that light is inside of you, and you can't extinguish that light, and it's got to do with faith. And sometimes you just got to move forward in faith. So where does your heart tell you? Pray. Pray. Talk to God. I'm lost. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go next. Please guide me. And God will send the signs. Always. Thinker. This is a time of contemplation. Okay. And then we have deep knowing. That this is not just thinking. You're thinking about things, but you're thinking in order to understand. And maybe you're thinking about things in a different way, and now you're starting to understand them completely. To be fair, trying to balance things out, trying to be fair in the way that you think, or you're thinking to be fair. Because you want to make sure that you have been fair in the decisions that you've made. And if not, you want to think, well, maybe I need to look at these decisions again. Higher power. Giving it over to the higher power, talking to the higher power, guide me. I'm confused. Be honest. Between worlds. That's where you are. But look where you're headed. New life. Now, we've talked about this before. You're in a very transitional world, and transitions are actually worlds in and of themselves. They're very unique, and they only happen. They are where the past and the present meet, and there is a lot of ambiguity, but they're very specific, and they're very beautiful for themselves. So to live in the present time, in the moment of now, Capricorn, is extremely important when you're transitioning. Transitions require the power of now and the foresight of your heart and where you're headed. So you've got to have faith to continue to step. Because remember, the world that you're entering now is the world that you're creating. It's the new world that you're building. So lots of times it's just about making a decision and trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, ding, there's something that you want to be aware of. Why don't I trust myself? Do I have to strengthen this aspect of myself? Is this trauma? Am I scared of something? All of those are honest conversations that you need to have with yourself, and then maybe with a trusted friend. Sensitive emotions. Times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness. Sometimes, all the time, you guys push yourself way too hard, It's saying, can you back off a little bit? Be nicer to yourself and give yourself some time to process everything that's happening. If you need to put your feet up, if you need to sleep a little bit late, that's not you being lazy, Capricorn. That's you trying to process everything internally. And if you don't let yourself process those things internally, that's when you break. And if you're broken, how are you going to get anything done? The answer is either you're not going to get anything done or you're going to get broken stuff done. So don't let yourself break. Clear quartz. Let yourself feel all your emotions. Your entire rainbow spectrum of feeling is sending you important messages and guidance. Let him. It can't guide you if you don't let yourself feel it. You might want to even get some like clear quartz. I know it sounds tacky, but sometimes I wear it right in my bra when I really need it, because it stays right by my heart. No one has to know it's there. To just help yourself absorb the energy of that crystal, to help you open up and experience all of those feelings. Permit yourself to feel it, to heal it. Because remember, we want to release the blockages now. We don't want to put any new blocks in place, right? Because that won't advance us. That will keep us back. Multifaceted. There are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person that you're asking about, which means you got to take time, step by step. You're not going to understand it all at once. You can't know what's 1,000 feet ahead of you. You don't have that information yet. So stop trying to make decisions for 1,000 feet in front of you. Just put one foot in front of the other. And then divine life purpose. Trust the signs and your inner guidance, which are leading you to fulfillment. Faith. Faith. That's what you need right now. Faith not only in God, but also yourself. Answered prayers. All your great work has opened the door for divine solutions and support. You have answered prayers. And sometimes that's the hardest thing for us to accept, is that, guess what? We are loved and we're experiencing our dreams come true. And that's weird. But here it is. Let's go into your animal totems. These are important because this is how the universe is going to use the animal world, the natural world, to communicate to you. So when you see these totems, you will know what they're trying to say, but also pay very close attention of everything around you that's happening around you. Very close attention, please. Because God's trying to talk to you. In the past, you see clearly. You were not seeing clearly and you were stuck. This is in the past. This is in the past where things, just the way wasn't clear and you didn't know, you were hung up. You couldn't move. It's almost like you couldn't move. It's almost like in the past when you couldn't see clearly, what did you do? You just shut down and you didn't go anywhere. And you sat there and you stagnated and you waited for the fog to clear. You can move in the fog. You just have to move one step in front of the other. You have to carry a big stick and maybe feel around. You can move. You just have to move in a different way. So, and faith is required. And then we have turtle spirit. Now, slow and steady wins the race. Slow it down, man. Just slow it down. Maybe you can't go as fast. But that's not what's meant to be right now. Be peace, be balanced, be tranquil. Also, be constantly in communication with the higher power, right? And then we have reclaim your power. This is coming out in reverse, saying you feel exhausted, you feel depleted. So why are you trying to run on full fuel when you know you only got a quarter of a tank? You got to fill up that tank. So allow yourself to allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to be filled up, to be helped, to be encouraged. Allow yourself now to receive a little bit. And then there is always enough koi fish. There's always enough time. There's always enough energy. There's always enough love. This is Pisces energy. This is emotion. This is a very emotional time right now. It's natural for you to feel that emotion. Understand that Capricorn, the moon is going into Capricorn. It's going to be a full moon in Capricorn. So you are coming up onto a conclusion of something you've worked very long and hard for. Let yourself feel all those emotions. Let me go into, I'll go into the angel messages because I forgot the cards downstairs. I'll go into the angel messages over in the extended. Yeah, let's see what tarot has to reveal. And then we'll get into your love reading as well. That link is below. Bye, Capricorn.